My desire to become a teacher stems from an experience that began when I was 12 years old. I was born and raised on Guam and had lived there all my life, up until the 7th grade. The two strongest values in Guamanian culture are that of family and community, and this is evident in the home and at school. Guam is a very small island made up of even smaller neighborhood communities, where everyone knows everyone and friendships go as far back to when your parents were your own age. Needless to say, I grew up in a very tight-knit community, where everyone has a voice and everyone feels a part of something stronger than themselves. Your identity is instilled at a very young age, and from the beginning, you feel as if you belong. While Guam is a wonderful place to have a childhood, it isn't exactly the best place to have an education. The schools are in disarray, both literally and figuratively. Teaching positions are filled based on a who's available basis, and many of the schools that were built in the 1960s are now falling into disrepair. Just recently, the largest high school on Guam was shut down because the buildings were falling apart, and now those students have to go to a rival high school on another part of the island. Teachers can become principals within a matter of a few years, and often faculty take on the task of being assigned more than one subject to teach because there just aren't enough qualified people on staff. This was not the education that my parents wanted for us. And so we moved to the States, where immediately I noticed a difference. Here, schools were much larger than I had ever experienced, and I just felt as if people weren't brought up with the same values that I had, that of family and community. And if they were, they just didn't seem as strong as what I was used to. And so this is where my educational philosophy comes into play. Because for me, the most important thing when it comes to school is a sense of belonging. School is a place where you spend at least 6 to 8 hours a day for 10 months out of the year. And so it is important to me that you feel as if you are valued and that you belong when you are there. I would like for my students to have a sense of community when they're at school, to not feel lost or like no one is listening. I want them to feel a deep connection that goes beyond just pencils and paper. I would like to create for them a learning environment in which they can feel comfortable and at ease, and not feel like they need to try to be anything other than who they are. I hope to bring this philosophy alive, especially in my classroom, with a strong sense of community where my students have a voice and know that they are heard and cared for. I know what it's like to feel lost in a sea of people without it, and so to bring this strong sense of belonging to my students is my ultimate goal as an educator.